What is up, guys? So today I'm bringing you Madolche deck profile. Actually, we just had the sneak peek obviously the other day, so I went and picked up a Choco mode and I did some testing trying to fit her into the deck and see how it works, and this is what I've come up with so far for you guys. So I'll just get straight into the deck profile and get that bad boy started. So for your Madolche monsters, obviously number 1, 3 Madolche. One of the most important cards of the deck, your +1 searcher. Searchers are always important. Plus she's another level 4. And I always liked Madolche because she got an effect that a lot of searchers couldn't do. She could actually search herself out. So what I've done a lot is what I like to call the Madolche shuffle, where you just keep searching out Madolches, going back and forth, kind of stalling. I don't really do that as much anymore. It's not as viable this format. With how many OTKs, you can't really do that as much anymore. But it is something you can do, but she's an obvious 3 of in the deck. You need her. Next 3 Angelis, obviously. Angeli, provided she can go off, will almost always be a +2 for you. She is one of the best cards that Madolches have ever, not one of the best, actually you can go so far as to say is she is probably the best card that Madolches have ever gotten, short of Queen Tiramisu. Because she just gets so many combos going, she helps the deck so much. She leaves targets for Hoot Cake even. Obvious 3 of, very needed. Then I run 3 Messengelato. I really wish I could drop him down to 2, because sometimes top decking him and just opening him really sucks, but he is really important to the deck. He's one of the level 4s that you can go and make Tiramisu with. And his effect to grab spells and traps when he special summons, provided the Beast Madolche is there, is really good. So even though he kind of sucks to draw, he's still a main 3 of that you really need. Plus he's one of the big beat sticks of the deck, especially with the Chateau out, 2100 attack. It's awesome. Next, 3 Hoot Cake. Obviously Hoot Cake, Angeli's little partner in crime. Such a good card for the deck. Also, he's really good. Helps just spam out of the deck, basically help getting effects. Obviously he's a beast, so you can always get Messengelato's effect off of special summoning him, provided nothing is intercepted. And the last few Madolche monsters I run only 1 Pudding Cess. Choco a la mode is, it's cool when you can get her off, but she's not something that you should still dedicate the deck to. So therefore, as a result of that, I do only run Pudding Cess at 1, and it still works out perfectly fine, because like I said, this deck has just a crazy amount of search and recycling power, so getting 2 Pudding Cess is never usually that hard. And the last Madolche monster is only 1 Mufle. This is debatable to some people. I personally choose to go down to 1 Mufle, because like all other Madolche monsters, he is searchable, he is highly recyclable, and I absolutely despise top decking Mufle. It's kind of a love-hate relationship because he's such a big combo starter, but I can't run him at more than 1 because otherwise he just clogs up and it doesn't work anymore, especially since I don't even believe you can special summon him off of his own effect. It just doesn't really work. And the last 2 monsters, just a couple hand traps. Effect Failure. Effect Negation, obviously very important in this format with just the massive amount of monster effects. Plus Effect Failure is good because she gives you another target for Hoot Cake. So that is the monsters of the deck. On spells, I run 2 Instant Fusions. Instant Fusions helps you get all your combo plays set up basically. You can make Leviers and Invokers. You can make like an Exton or something if you really need it. Or it helps you make the Pudding Cess, which I will actually go into when I go in the extra deck. And like I said, contrary to popular belief, I still run MST in this format. Just makes me feel a lot more confident and a lot more safe, especially in a deck like this where you can just really push for OTKs. You really want to make sure that you can just get rid of all the back row, make sure it's not there anymore. 1 Chateau and 1 Ticket. I run them both at 1, mainly to make space, to try and at least keep the deck somewhat competitive. I know it's really good to run like 2 Chateaus and stuff, and running them at 1 can kind of suck. Like if your Ticket just gets blasted off the board, it kind of hurts a little bit. but they're searchable, they're also recyclable, and I prefer it this way. That way I don't get the opportunity, or misfortune I meant, of like top decking a Chateau or a Ticket late game when I really need something else. Then for 1-ups, Regeki, obviously help get you out of the gym lock should that happen. Monster Destruction, clear off any problem monsters on their board so you can go for a play. I do run 1 double summon. Double summon's just so good in this deck. It's worth running it at 1. I wouldn't run it more than 1 just because it will clog obviously, but at 1 I see it pretty consistently actually, and it helps a lot. And 1 book, because book is just too pro. It's a good card. Bring book up to 2. Just kidding. I would like that, but that probably won't happen. But book's a good card that we should always have. And for traps, I run triple Reckless. Reckless. Can't speak today. Triple Reckless helps you get to your combo pieces faster. This just gives Madolches like some really good draw power that they do need. Mainly because like with Chateau and Ticket on board, you can just keep recycling your monsters and searching. So should they manage to survive your OTK, you can still, it won't hurt you as much not having to draw for a couple turns. You can still survive. Then I do run 2 Palooza. Palooza is just such a good card. I've had so many games where I've activated the Palooza, and so many people have just scooped. If they didn't have a response to anything, I didn't even have to actually special summon anything, they would just scoop immediately. Anyone who's played against Madolches know that this card usually never leads to anything good for them. Great things for me, bad for them. Such a good card. Want to run it at 2. See it a little more if you need to, like if you brick with an open monster, like a really heavy monster hand. And then just keep recycling 1 and spamming the other to really push damage. And I do run 2 Mind Crush. Mind Crush is just great this format. Everything's adding to hand. Really good play stopper. I would bump it up to 3 if I actually had the room. I just don't have the room for it right now. Then I run 2 Mirror Force. This is good basically for when they try and make the push, you can just blow them out. And usually a lot of decks don't have enough of a comeback play if you can really blow them out enough with a Mirror Force to where you should be able to safely go in next turn and try and kill them. A little more effect negation. I got 2 Fiendishes. Fiendishes is, I still prefer Fiendish this format. I think Fiendish is really good, especially with the popularity of Satellar Knights. You know, go ahead and Trigger. I'd like to recycle my Fiendishes too. That sounds great. Then as 1-ups, I only main 1 trap stun right now. It's just in case I run into a really heavy back row deck, which doesn't happen as much. But it is good to have at least 1 just in case in your main board. Because you are an OTK deck, you just want to make sure that you can just go through and push through for damage. Hopefully not have any problems. And 1 Vanities, it's kind of obvious. 1 Bottomless, also obvious, stop the key summons. Warning, also pretty obvious, sometimes you just need a warning. And the Ring of Destruction, a little spot removal, and once again it can help you get out of the gym lock provided you really need to. Then, when we go to extra deck, for the rank 3s, I run double Leviair. Leviair is just so good in this deck. Getting to recycle the Angelis that you banished with Hoot Cake just keeps the deck going and going. Then the last rank 3 I run is Invoker. I don't go into him as much because usually Leviair is a more optimal play. However, there are those just really awkward situations where I can't go into Leviair because there'd be no purpose. I don't have an Angeli banished or something. So sometimes you still need the Invoker. That is it for the rank 3s. On rank 4s, you run 1 Rhapsody. Rhapsody's just too pro this format. Banishing stuff from the graveyard is great. 1 Cowboy in case you need to make just the last, you go into time, need to burn, just try and lower them. Last minute game pushes, you know, stuff like that. I do run the 1 Dweller still. He's good to have just in case. And Burning Abyss has kind of lost popularity, but he's still okay against Necros because you can activate it like in their standby phase so they can't Kaleidoscope rape you. And 1 Exciton. I like reset buttons. Reset buttons are sometimes needed. One Castell. Castell is great for getting rid of problem cards, obviously. Kind of rank 4 staple. If you can run rank 4, you should always have a Castell in your extra deck. No questions at all. And one Honor Arc also helps to get rid of certain problem monsters I just don't want on the board right now. And then I run 2 Tiramisu. Don't run her at 3, obviously, because you don't really need to. You can just recycle Tiramisus with 1. So just have them keep recycling each other. But she's obviously the heart and soul of the deck. She needs to be at least at 2. And she's obviously, like, she's the game winner. Queen is the baby. She's my waifu of this deck. And then, right now, I'm running 1 Choco a la mode. Her effect is okay. It's good when you can get it off. Sometimes it's not optimal to go into her, but sometimes it's good to go into her still. Like, there's a pretty crazy play that you can do. If you can Mufillet into Pudding Cess and you have the instant fusion in hand, that's a 3-card pretty much crazy OTK. And then the last 3 cards are my instant fusion target, so I run 1 Fusionist to get rank 3. So if I need to make Leviair, Invoker, option is available. Carbonal Warrior. He'll only be here until Nodin comes out. Obviously Nodin will be superior in every way, but until Nodin actually hits, he's here. Help you make a rank 4 XZ if you need to. And then the last one is the Parapsychroid, since Choco a la mode does require 2 level 5 Earths. This is the only one I know of, besides Cybersaurus, that you can instant fusion out properly for her. And, I don't know, he's better. He's a bike with eyeballs. I mean, who doesn't want that? Then, finally, going on to the side deck, as I've stated before, side decks a lot are very conditional as it's related to your area and what you see in your area, so this is just off of what I see a lot in my area, so but you can take some ideas from it. I do run 2 Shadow Imprisonings in mine, because Shaddolls are definitely on the rise. So Shadow Imprisoning is good, and I run into Burning Abyss a fair amount actually in my area still, so Shadow Imprisoning good. I have 2 Trapstones sighted, so should you run into like a really heavy back row deck like an anti-meta or Satellar's, you know, helps you just push through and get your plays through. And I run 2 Shared Ride. This card is good and at the same time not good. You have to be careful with it. Like, if you go against Necros and they decide to go in with the Shared Ride challenge, sometimes it may actually hurt you, because I've had those really awkward moments where I've drawn all 3 of my Messengelados, and that pretty much kills my combos, because they're not supposed to be in my hand. But most of the time they won't take the challenge, so it's good to have. Then I have the 3rd MST sighted, should I really need it. Then I run 2 Lancia for Ritual Beasts and like Trishula and stuff like that. Obviously I can't run Imperial Iron Wall in this deck unless I just don't want to play with Hoot Cake. So Lancias are good just to stop him for the turn. And he's a Hoot Cake target too, so there's always that, it's great. Then I run 2 Fire and 2 Ice Hands actually. These are really good for crowd control. You don't really lose a whole lot with this deck. Like, some people may argue against them, saying it uses up your normal summons and stuff like that, but the hands are really good. They give you a lot more rank 4 utility sometimes when you need it, and it's really, like I said, really good crowd control, because you can just, like, if you're going against the Teller Knights, like, you can crash every single one of these hands into them. Even if you take some damage, you did not come out at a loss at all, just by crashing every single hand. They are still good to have, and they're Hoot Cake targets in this deck, which is also good. Then the last 2 monsters are Flying Sea. I guess an interesting thing to note too before I forget. A lot of people seem to forget this. If you make an Abyss Welder with an Ice Hand, it is a water monster. You do get the plus 500 boost. That's just, I mean, kind of a side note. Not everyone's gonna have, opportunity will not always be there, but it's funny when it happens. And like I said, the last 2 monsters are Flying Seas. Just stop exiting from decks that exit a lot, so. And that is my side deck. So, that is the Madolche deck I have had. I haven't had a chance to take it to an actual tournament yet, but I've been testing. I tested a lot today with my friends and all that, And the deck has been working out very well with this build, so that will be it for the deck profile. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and peace out.